We did some segments, and he did some segments with me on television. So he is no stranger to me or to media, and that is what I am so excited to have him here for. Now, of course, you hear him here every day, 9 to 11. And for those of you who have just listened to Greg and John talk sports, you may not know some of the things that I know about Greg, which is what I want to get into coming up here in just a few minutes. Before we do, listen, if there's stuff happening in the sports world, I have not seen the Titans sign anybody, right? They're still thinking about DeAndre Hopkins. They haven't signed him, right? They're just going to bring him in for a visit. That was the last word we heard. And that visit is expected to happen possibly this weekend. DeAndre Hopkins could be coming to see the Titans here for a little bit and then make a decision about where it is that he wants to sign. Of course, he's a 31-year-old wide receiver who's probably going to Canton, Ohio. And the Titans signing him would not be the first time they signed a wide receiver that was on their way to Canton, Ohio. So we'll see if that plays out. Of course, we talked about that ad nauseum yesterday. But if you want to get into it, I'm sure Greg talked about it on his show.
Yeah,
this morning.
Yeah, and with him, it's a feeling out process on both. There's many tentacles to why he's coming. Market placement. It's sort of been slow, ever since he's come onto the market. The Odell Beckham $15 million deal sort of raised the bar. I don't think people are maybe they are. We'll see. But are the Titans in the position to do that? Incentives, 10, 12 million or wherever. But the fact he's coming in shows there is interest. Nothing surprises me in this world.
Yeah.
I think I've also predicted that you could see a Kevin Byard restructure.
Yes.
Well, which is for his, why should he do that?
Yeah.
Because the guaranteed money up front is all you get.
How about that?
It's all that's guaranteed. And you also hedge against injury. If he gets hurt in game 12 this year, doesn't complete this year, he's out on the free market with very little value.
Yeah.
So
there is some risk there.
Yeah, and so I could see that to free up the money. I still think that could happen one way or other with Hopkins. Is it an upgrade in the room? Yes. Traylon Burks and DeAndre Hopkins and whoever steps in, I guess Kyle Phillips in the slot and Westbrook-Ikini or Racey McMath or whoever. But it certainly puts this team in a better position, not to win necessarily a Super Bowl, but win the division and get into the playoffs and then see what happens, right?
Yeah. That could be a thing to look forward to here. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. And, of course, we got into a lengthy conversation yesterday about free agents and this franchise history with free agents.
I heard it.
I know. And I saw you respond.
Yeah,
as well.
I was just messing with you guys. Yeah, where's the...
Is that what you like doing? You like just messing?
Yeah.
Messing with us.
Yeah, it's harmless.
Is it really? Because it doesn't feel harmless sometimes. It feels more like a prosecution.
What?
But,
No, I'm sorry you take it that way. D-Mac certainly doesn't. No.
Well, D-Mac knows you a little bit better than I do on that tip.
I'm just having fun.
Okay.
I heard that yesterday. Yeah, but you're right. Both of you are right. But you can't
which
compare
is what makes it fun.
Yeah, but you can't compare draft picks to free agents because you have much more opportunity to hit on draft picks because there's more of them.
That part is true.
That
part is true.
So, but they're traditionally, it's been well documented. They failed at that position. You consider. Frank Wycheck was a free.
He was. He played with the Redskins before.
Redskins before. Yeah. People don't realize that
he only had a cup of coffee with him. He wasn't. What was it? 1 year? What was it? Get cut in training camp? He didn't. I think he did one full year.
He was suspended.
Oh, really?
For 4 games, I believe.
For some of that, huh?
PED.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. People in this market don't know that.
I've forgotten about that.
I
actually have heard that before.
But that's nothing.
But but what happens is when you've been doing this as long as Greg and I have, sometimes you know about something, you just forgot that you already knew that. And you're like, oh, yeah, that is what happened.
Well, I'll be careful with my text while y'all on the air because I don't want to upset you. I don't want to prosecute you.
You can't upset.
That's what I thought.
Just looking at it and just trying to figure it out.
Now, I was waiting for catering today, too. You had that free barbecue guy come in here. And I got some of the scraps. So that was pretty cool.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Where is he? I don't know. But first of all, we didn't set up the barbecue. Darren and I arrived, and there was barbecue here. So why do you think we had something to do with that?
No, just it was well grazed.
You've never showed up here, and there was just food here?
Never.
Never?
No.
You've been here much longer than I have.
It's Krispy Kreme donuts usually in the morning.
So that counts.
No.
I don't remember seeing any Krispy Kremes in here.
because we eat them before you get here.
Okay,
No,
well,
I ate
you know.
one. They brought a dozen. I ate one of them the other day. I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, all right then. So there's that. All right, so
what
What
let
happened?
me ask you this.
yeah.
I'm going to interview you today too, since you've not
Come on
told
with
me.
it.
You've not told me
Yeah.
what you have planned.
Yeah.
And I called you a couple hours
You
ago.
did?
Just said, hey, do I need to know anything? Blah, blah. And you said,
No, you
don't,
know everything you already need to know about this.
But you just said, you know what? The answer was, no, don't worry about it. We got it. We got it.
And that's what I meant. Yeah.
Well, you do have it. Hey, you guys have been just a welcome addition from 2 to 4. You guys have. The McFarlands, it's a hit.
Yeah.
It's a hit.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're having fun, and I hope the listeners are having fun as well. Now, real quick, as before we move on here to the sports news from the sports news of the day, in case you missed it last night, Game 3 of the NBA Finals, it was the Denver Nuggets up over the Miami Heat. Final score 109-94. Next game is set for Friday. And the Nuggets looking for the commanding 3-1 lead with the win against Miami if they can get that done coming up on Friday. So we'll see how that goes. But Game 3 in the books. And, outside of it wasn't a very exciting game. I'll tell you that. It was sort of a blowout. We kind of already knew what was going to happen from the beginning. So it just kind of moved in that direction there for Miami and Denver. You guys talk a lot of NBA over
we
there.
We do, and Coach Tom Hodges comes on with us from time to time. But yeah, first time in NBA history, regular season or the postseason, certainly in the finals, a 30-point triple-double from 2 players on the same team.
Wow.
It's never happened in NBA history in any game.
Mm-hmm.
A 30 double-double. Jokic 32, 21, and 10. Murray 34, 10, and 10. And he got that 10th rebound like in the last 8 or 9, maybe 20 seconds or something. But yeah, first time that's ever happened in an NBA game, period.
Okay.
How about that?
That is impressive. So we've got that going on. Of course, baseball is going to kick back up and going again. The college baseball game, also softball, all of that is going to start to get going, I believe, this afternoon, right? We've got a little NC. Is it tonight?
Yeah, 6:30. See, I already got my notes from today, so I didn't do this show prep for you. Trust me.
It's okay.
6:30 on ESPN.
6:30 on ESPN.
They won. Oklahoma won last night, 1-0 over Florida State. Yeah.
So the round of 16 here.
No, baseball. On. Yeah, we were talking.
Baseball.
Okay, I thought you were talking softball.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
then what you were talking about softball?
Well, the college. You said College World Series. I clicked in right away. Softball.
Well, that is true.
Softball.
That is
the
true.
College World Series is
it's something separate.
Still to come.
You're right. No,
in baseball.
You're right.
Actually, they call it the men CWS and the women CWS.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, tomorrow 4 games, and then Saturday 4 games, including Tennessee Southern Miss at 2:00 on ESPNU.
Okay. So it should be a lot of fun with that. Before we move on to other things, I would be remiss if I did not talk about the fact that we have a lot going on here within the city of Nashville that is not sports related. In case you are unaware, there's around 70,000 people per day coming into downtown Nashville. It's almost going to be like we're having a Titans game every day from now through Sunday. That's what's going to be going on.
But they're not
downtown Nashville.
But they're not in a stadium. They're
Not
all
yet.
in the streets.
Well, they're in the street for now, but they'll be in the stadium tonight.
So what are who are the big? I guess there's 3 nights of it.
4
nights.
There's four nights.
I love Nashville. Come spend your money, have a great time. Tell all your friends to come visit, and then go home.
Yeah,
we're closed.
Yeah,
we're closed.
We don't want you moving
we got
here.
enough. We got enough.
We don't need you to move here.
Uh-huh.
We just need you to come spend money here.
Like Alex going to spend the summer here interning with us
There
from
you
Michigan
go.
State.
Yeah.
Guarantee he's going to love it so much he'll move back here in January, and there's one more.
He'll want to, but I think his paperwork will be expired at that point. I don't know if they'll let him back. I don't know if that's how
Is
that
he on
works.
a work visa?
I don't know. I don't know if his university will allow it. I'm not sure. But, we can check into that. If his, maybe if his university allows, then sure. You can come spend some more time with us. Tonight at Nissan Stadium, the main artists are Jody Messina. She'll take the stage at 8:00. Luke Combs takes the stage at 9.
He's cool. He's really good.
Carly Pierce, Tyler Hubbard, and Dan and Shay. Now, listen, Dan and Shay are scheduled to take the stage. This is what time they're scheduled to start. 11:25 p.m.
Yeah.
is what time they're scheduled to start.
Yeah.
At Nissan Stadium. So
the cool part of seeing what I will do every once in a while, I used to, I don't even try now, is I'll go downtown and to the free stages.
Yes.
The up and comers. A lot of these people that are on the stadium stage used to play the free stages around, and just. And there's a variety of genres as well, which I really like. There is an impact. There's a black music showcase that's happening that the TSU Aristocratic Band's a part of.
Yes, they participated in that this morning.
Was that this morning? Okay, I saw.
They were out there playing on the pedestrian bridge. So kind of starting things out already. So yeah, they've already been up and playing. The other main artists, and we're not going to go all the way through the whole rundown here, but Miranda Lambert, Keith Urban, and Hardy are tomorrow night. And then on Saturday night, they've got Old Dominion. Eric Church is the late act. And then on Sunday, if I can find it.
Is it over, or is there another one Sunday?
There is another one Sunday. Wow. That's where the big hitters come in. Dierks Bentley, Tim McGraw, and Luke Bryan. That's Sunday night.
4 nights of superstars, right?
Yeah.
Which night would you like the best? I want the one with Luke Combs.
I'm not sure.
I want the one with Luke Combs is my favorite of all of them.
I haven't seen Chris Stapleton. Is he? Well,
yeah,
Chris Stapleton
he's really good.
is coming to do his own show. It will be Chris Stapleton in Little Big Town later this month.
Yeah, Chris Stapleton.
Well, actually, it is later this month. Yeah, later this month. We got a lot of music coming.
So
here.
78,000 people a day.
Yeah, 70 to 80,000 people a day. Yeah, coming for the CMA Music Fest here. And not only that, but there's also other events happening here in town, or around town, as we should say. Other things happening out there in the world. We're going to get into all that coming up here. Greg, I'm sure you remember CMA Music Fest when it was something called Fanfare, right? Or what was it called?
Well, it started out at the fairgrounds in the early about 72, early 70s. Boy. Is when it was Fanfare. Fanfare. Actually, they're also had it. I was going to say municipal auditorium, but no, it was started at the fairgrounds, and I'm going to say 1970, early 70s.
I got a quick story about CMA Music Fest here, and that is CMA Music Fest was the first time, and I moved to Nashville in 1991. I didn't really know where I lived until I covered CMA Music Fest. And that is when I discovered that there were people who were saving up money all year to come to Nashville and sleep on the sidewalk for the opportunity to meet Reba McEntire. I didn't know these people existed, but they are. I met people from around the globe. I don't know.
One of them would have been me, probably. I mean, yeah.
I met people from Ireland, from the UK, from all over the globe. Came here for CMA Music Fest, and that's when it dawned on me. Because if you live here, you may not run into the tourist. When you just live here and you go about your business, you may not know.
No, I run from them.
Well, some people do that. But you may not know Nashville is an international tourist destination, and people save and spend thousands of dollars to come here and take part in things that we drive past every day.
What moved the needle all the way to international? The TV show Nashville? In a lot of ways.
I think we were before that.
Yeah. I think that exploded it.
Well, I think that helped.
Yeah.
But you know what really, and this is going to sound crazy, Keith Urban. Because he's from Australia.
Garth Brooks, I mean, just the worldwide appeal. But also, Butch Spiriton and the embracing of Music City. It was often in our city leadership was something, that's over there. It's down Lower Broadway and the honky tonks. And no, they embraced the music. By the way, CMA Music Festival beginning in 1972.
Wow.
Under the name Fanfare.
Fanfare.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into some other things here with our guest for the next couple of hours, Greg Pogue. And we're going to talk about some things that a lot of people don't talk to Greg about anymore. I'm going to bring up some jobs that he's had in the past that I've had questions about for years. And we're going to get into it coming up here on the McFarland Show, Sports Radio 560 WNSR. We're Nashville Sports Radio.
Bob's Steak and Chop House, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, is a nationally renowned steakhouse specializing in the finest corn-fed Midwestern prime beef. The menu formula is simple: incredible meat, gigantic shrimp, fabulous salads, and decadent desserts. Start your experience at Bob's with the fried calamari or fresh scallops seared in Texas burnt honey. All the beef at Bob's Steak and Chop House are USDA prime cuts, from the traditional filet of tenderloin and ribeye to the adventurous Kansas City bone-in strip. They even have 2 different surf and turf options. And if you're looking for the other white meat, Bob's Steak and Chop House serves a dry-aged pork tomahawk with homemade applesauce. Fresh seafood is on the menu, from salmon to scampi, and even fresh lobster tail. For reservations, give them a call or log on to the Omni Nashville Hotel website. Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Rand Carthen, Tennessee Titans GM, joins the show. Rand, were you among the 70,000 plus that saw Taylor Swift in Nissan Stadium? How was the concert?
I went to the Saturday night show. Easily the best thing I've seen. Now, I went into it, and I was like, I couldn't name a Taylor Swift song, but I was like, I love music enough to know that I know there were songs that I knew that I didn't know was Taylor Swift. So I'm really there because it's just the way my brain and my eyes work. I'm there looking at the stage production. I would guess to say crazy things like transition from one song to the next, the stage. And so that's the stuff that had me enamored. And it was easily, the best show I've seen. And so Beyonce's going to have to bring it in July.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Hello, this is Philip Cox from Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Are you looking for new and exciting things to do with the family during the spring and summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free, a summer pass starting in May where kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join the fun as well. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Donaldson, Hermitage, and Tusculum to register, or just visit kidsbowlfree.com/Strike and Spare. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
There's a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience filled with family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 21st through the 24th for the induction of Fred McGriff and Scott Rowland as the class of 2023. Visit baseballhall.org today for the entire schedule. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
The 2023 Atlanta Braves are back, and with a loaded roster of young talent and some new faces in the A, it's going to be another wild season.
First pitch is drilled to center field. Sprinting in Harris, he dives, and Michael's got it.
Catch the 2023 Atlanta Braves right here on Music City's home for Braves baseball. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. The McFarland Show, streaming live on the WNSR app and on WNSR.com.
Sports Radio 560 WNSR. We are Nashville Sports Radio. It's the McFarland Show. I'm Justin McFarland. Darren McFarland has the day off, but I am not alone, not at all. Greg Pogue is here with us. And Greg Pogue, of course, has already done 2 hours of radio today, so he's doing us a solid.
How can I do it in another 2, man? It's
yeah,
rough.
He's doing us a solid by coming back and speaking with us some more here. By the way, we're in the Strike and Spare Family Studios. 615-844-5600. That's 615-844-5600 is our phone number and text number. If you want to reach out to us, we'll get into whatever you want. That's what Greg would say. We'll get into whatever you want to get into. You have several catchphrases that you use. What do you say when it's open lines? Like, we're talking about whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about.
Whatever you want to talk about.
We'll
okay.
talk about it.
All right.
And if it's not a good topic, we'll hang up on you.
Oh, well, there's that. We're trying not to do that, even though
I'm teasing.
We have
yeah.
though. You know,
Sometimes I wish I had a dump button over here. I don't have one.
We've had to unload
the
some
dump
folks.
button's over there.
We've had to unload some folks. No, I get it. So you know that happens. Even though we can talk about sports ad nauseum, one thing I want to talk to Greg about is something that I know a lot of you may not even know about Greg, and that is his life before some of the action here at WNSR. When I first heard the name of Gregory Pogue, when I first learned about Greg Pogue, I was a writer with the Tennessee Tribune here in Nashville. I was a sports writer. It was in the late 90s. And Greg Pogue was not a radio star. He was a TV star over at WNAB. And Greg was hosting was it a nightly show or a weekly show?
Every night.
Every night.
It started out every night from 90 minutes, from 9 to 10:30. George Plaster and I started it out on Channel 58.
Yes.
And then
Over
George
the North Star.
didn't last long.
Yeah.
And then Rick Renner, who's now with Fox Sports Dallas, right, with the hair and everything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we did it. But I was actually, at the time, my day job was the Nashville band.
We haven't got there
Okay,
yet.
okay.
We're going there.
Right.
But first, I want to hear about doing television, 90 minutes of television sports in Nashville during that time. What in the world did you talk about for all that time? Because there wasn't, and I need people to understand Nashville in the 1990s. For those of you who were not here, the Tennessee Titans, who is that? Those are the Houston Oilers. The Tennessee Titans don't exist. The Nashville Predators don't exist.
They did then. That's why we did the TV show 96, 97. Well, 96 was the last year for the Houston Oilers. They moved here and played in Memphis. Well, they moved here and they played their games
well, that's true. They were
Memphis.
based in here and moved to Memphis.
And so
Out in
I was
Bellevue.
the beat writer. But so what would allow us to be able to do that much programming is the fact in 96 and 97, you had the referendum. You had the Titans moving here. They were going to move here. Also, you had the arena construction. The arena construction and the NHL expansion. Coming in, and there was, for a while, there were the suitors on the NBA side. Was possibly the Sacramento Kings.
Let's talk about it.
But then also you thought about the New Jersey Devils even flirted with moving here.
Yes.
But so we had a lot of things. Mike McClure at the time was the president of the Titans, or the Oilers/Titans. He and the mayor, Bredesen, at the time, they're the one that's brokered the deal. And what got the president fired is what he did in Memphis by taking the team to Memphis. That was a total miscalculation. Ended up getting him fired.
Yeah.
So, but at that time, Mike McClure, I drew a blank, but Mike McClure was the president. He and Bredesen brokered the deal in the O'Hare Marriott.
Wow.
And they in a conference room there.
Now, what a lot of people, and boy, we can get into there's so many different directions there. But before we leave, let's talk about the arena here. Let's talk about the Nashville Arena being built. The fact there was no real tenant for the arena as it's going up. The Predators were not a sure thing at that particular moment. They were looking at other teams moving here, including the New Jersey Devils, as you said, who had just won the Stanley Cup. And there are pictures out there with the New Jersey Devils celebrating with the Stanley Cup and their fans saying no to Nashville, or Nashville with the X written on it at the airport, because there was a lot of belief that the Devils at that point were going to be moving to Nashville. I mean, from what you remember, how close was that deal to really happening?
Not really. Not
really.
Not that close. And Bredesen realized in that Municipal Auditorium had long, and it's still a fine building, but this city needed a premier arena and the focal point of downtown that mushroomed out of it. So they, on blind faith of not having a major tenant, built the arena. I remember walking for the Nashville Banner, 1100 Broadway, where the Tennessee the Banner was, walking down there while it was still under construction, and the architect who was in charge of it, who was RKO out of Kansas City, we were walking around, and I said, "Where's the press box?" And he goes, "Oh, they did not build." You ever noticed that they never built a press area?
Yeah.
That it's actually a section that they converted
Yes.
to the press area because they didn't build a press box.
So a couple things that they left out when they built the arena. They didn't put that quite in the design when they built the Nashville Arena. Okay, so then here comes the football team, which a lot of people thought was never going to happen. The referendum, and I was a teenager at this point, but what I tell people all the time is the referendum was closer than a lot of people would know. It was like 60-40, essentially.
Yeah, I was actually covered that.
Yeah.
It was 59.2 to 40.8 to be exact.
Yeah,
You know.
60-40, which means 4 out of every 10 people did not want an NFL football
Well,
team here.
not only did they not, you could be just not vote, right?
Yeah.
There's 40% that actively voted. They're nowhere to be found right now.
Yeah.
You can't find them. Well, there's people that would, but I mean, without the NFL, we don't have Bridgestone, we don't have Nissan North America, we don't have Oracle, we don't have Google, we don't have 70. I mean, that was the one that exploded everything. The total game share. And what do you think the Predators raced out ahead to get a 1-year edge? They were actually, they sort of flip-flopped with Columbus on when they were going to start their expansion year so they could get out ahead of it.
Yeah.
And
they wanted to play their game before the Titans did, or the Oilers did.
Or before they got downtown. They were at Vanderbilt in 98 and then the new stadium in 99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was important for them at that point to try to get out ahead because we were really coming alive as a city to try to understand that we could be a pro sports market. Now, you who have been here for many, many moons, did you think Nashville could be a pro sports market? And if so, why or why not?
Well, we'd always talked about baseball. Larry Schmidt on the early 90s had his flirtations with it, and we know what Larry gave us, the Sounds, right? I mean, and they were forever our pro sports team and still are, but not at that, not, where it is today. The NFL's a game changer. That's the total game changer. The NHL, I had my doubt, non-traditional hockey market, and it's been well delineated. Pete Weber and Terry Crisp made everything so much more palatable to people who were totally ignorant of hockey. I mean, they made it appealing. And so without that, and now we have the NHL. You know what's coming next, right? Well, and I'm jumping all over the place. You know what pro sports league we're going to have next, don't you? Team wise,
here
you've said it.
The WNBA.
WNBA.
Yeah.
You've said it.
No, that's coming. That's happening.
I agree.
Yeah, that's happening at some point.
Well, and it's because it's. Well, their base salaries are not, off the chart, actually. Yeah. So, anyway.
So, no, that's
But when I heard
happen.
you say that, I go, oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah, I already.
No.
There's movement in that area.
There 100% is, and that is absolutely going to happen. So, Nashville becomes a pro sports market. You've got a television show, and now all of a sudden, you're on the front of TV Guide. He is. Listen, for those of you who don't remember, you used to be able to go to the grocery store, and there was a TV guide sitting right there as you walked out, and you can grab the TV guide. And who was on the front of one said TV guide? A baby face is what it looked like at the time. Greg Pogue.
Photoshopped. It was photoshopped.
It was photoshopped?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
There wasn't really anything
now
like
makeup
that?
and Photoshop.
Okay. So
and a mullet. They drew a mullet on the back of my head.
You really didn't have a mullet?
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I called it.
Somehow I don't believe that.
I called it flowing locks.
Flowing locks?
Yes.
What are you, a knight in shining armor? Flowing locks?
Hardly.
Oh, jeez. All right. So you got a television show, and you guys are moving along here. You're doing sports content, and you're flying by the seat of your pants a little bit. Had you done television before that? Had you done nightly television?
I'd been on television, but not as the host. I'd done radio. Actually, I started in radio.
Yeah.
And the print came along. I was actually in radio when I got my first print job.
Okay.
In Bowling Green at the Daily News. I was already on rock and roll radio at the time.
Okay.
I've been a lot of different things. You don't have no idea. I've been a program director, music director of an album rock station.
Okay.
I've had the best jazz show in this city the last 7 years, according to the Nationals. But anyway, but back to your question.
But okay, so you didn't have a lot of TV experience.
No, but Plaz, we did it. We started together. Then Rick Renner, I was just sort of brought along because of the print, right? Just to be that. But I mean,
what did you learn after doing TV every day for 3 years? What's the thing that sticks out? What is the thing that you took with you?
That people don't know you because you're on TV.
Yeah.
They automatically assume you're one way or the other, and that you're, you think you're famous because you're on TV and all of that. No. Yeah. I know what, but it does have a cachet with that, okay? Yeah. And there's also there was a assumption that that's how I was, and I mean, I'm just, the reason I do what I do is because I don't know how to do anything else.
If you would, you could, but you can't, so you don't.
Yeah.
All right, so you're doing television, and the city exploded. The Titans make the Super Bowl run. You got all these different things that are happening. I imagine people are watching. It's a high time to be Greg Pogue at that point, right? Because you're doing print, you're doing some radio, and you're doing television. You are Justin McFarland before Justin McFarland, essentially.
Well, I was on regularly with Plaster through the 90s.
Yeah.
Just regular, a regular thing, but not as a host. But it's just what I do.
You were just doing some of everything.
Yeah, I still do. I mean, I've got 14 paid hobbies right now.
14?
14. I can name 4 of them real quick.
Jeez.
I mean, here, TSU.
Yeah.
The jazz thing may come back. Who knows? Before the pandemic, I had a bunch of things I was doing.
Boy, he's hustling. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
No, it's because I'm broke.
We're going to talk about the hustle of Greg Pogue and where it started with writing. Because, there was another big job that I wanted to talk to Greg about here coming up in a few minutes. This is the McFarland Show, Sports Radio 560 WNSR.
Just because you can't see it or smell it, radon gas is everywhere. Caused by natural radioactive decay, it is the leading cause of lung cancer in women, children, and non-smoking men. And with Davidson County homes testing higher than the national average, now is the time for radon testing. Radon Mitigation is Nashville's licensed and NRPP certified radon mitigation company who can test your home, install systems, and maintain continuous meters for daily readouts on their simple-to-use app. If you're buying or selling a home, save money on costly repairs and expensive inspections. Let Alex and his team at Radon Mitigation make your home a clean air home. Give them a call today at 931-47-RADON. That's 931-477-2366. Or online at ChooseRadont.com. That's ChooseRadont.com.
Hey, I'm Alex with Radon Mitigation, proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves on WNSR.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yup, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Golfers, swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been serving golfers since 1968. Let us help you find the hottest gear from bags, balls, shoes, and apparel. All in stock at the best prices. Come in and test drive the latest arrivals from Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, and more. While you're there, get custom fit by one of our golf experts. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at EdwinWattsGolfShops.com.
Five-state forecast.
Your exclusive national sports radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. For today, it's going to be mostly sunny with widespread haze, a high temperature 84. Clear and hazy tonight, the low 58. Bright sunny skies for Friday with a high of 86. Utilizing the resources of the Weather Bug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio WNSR.
Sports fans, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights at 6 and hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby and Darren McFarland.
Hey, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights from 6 until 7 o'clock as we highlight high-level trainers, coaches, and players in and around Middle Tennessee. Give us a call at 615-844-5600. We live video stream all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
And hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby.
And hear me, Darren McFarland, live on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Titans fans, Preds fans, The McFarland Show has you covered. Give us a call, 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Sports Radio 560 WNSR. We are Nashville Sports Radio. It's the McFarland Show. I'm Justin McFarland. Greg Pogue in with us. Darren McFarland has the day off. I'm talking to Greg about some of the things that he did before he jumped on the air here at WNSR, at least for one of his stints anyway. I mean, because I know he's been, in and out of here, but it wasn't. Okay. 615-844-5600.
I was in and out, and now I'm back in. So there, just once.
615-844-5600 here from the Strike and Spare Family Studios. All right, Greg, we've talked about the work over at WNAB. But the great love of your life, I'm going to say here, or what you are kind of known for and what a lot of people knew you for, was your work at the D&J. And you, sir, and the reason why I applaud you, and I know you can be silly and, lovable at times, but you're a serious journalist. And you ran a serious journalism operation over there at the Daily News Journal in Murfreesboro for many, many years. What sticks out about that experience?
Well, the timeline was, I went to work for the Banner, Nashville Banner, the 80s.
Okay.
Went all the way through the late 90s. I actually left before it closed to buy and run Big Orange Illustrated, the UT fan magazine. I ended up selling it about a year later. And then I was printing it at the Murfreesboro Daily News Journal. Ron Fryer was the publisher there. We became friends, and he had an opening. Kevin Spain was the executive sports editor there. Went to Chattanooga, went to New Orleans. He now runs Bet.com, which is internationally the number one. It's based out of London. But anyway, and so it became open. What I remember of that in a 10-year stretch, I was 2000 to 2010. 9 of the 10 years, and this is because of all the talent that we had, and I'll run this list in a minute. We were named for our division the best in the state 9 of the 10 years. The one year we didn't win it is because we would always turn in our Sunday. The one that beat us turned in a Saturday, and the judges said, well, they're so confident they don't have to turn in their Sunday paper. If they turn in a Saturday, well, guess what? They didn't have a Sunday paper. They were only Monday, Tuesday. But so that 1 year stuck out. So 9 of the 10. 3 years, 2 of them, the National Newspaper Association named our sports section best in the country 2 years, and a runner-up another year. Well, we had David Beauclair. We covered when I went there. I went there to work for Morris Multimedia out of Savannah, Georgia, to compete against the Tennessean. The Banner had gone away, and so we had.
Remember that
when I became executive sports editor, we had 10 employees. We put out on a Sunday 2 8-page sections. You don't get 8 pages from the Tennessean now. I mean, don't get me going that way, but that's where that industry is headed, or is going.
It's going.
Or is going, gone.
Yeah.
But in David Beauclair, Tony Stennett, Monty Hale, Rob Nunley, I can on and on and on. We had people that were good enough to work at any newspaper in the country working there. And then in 2005, it flipped. There was a newspaper trade between Gannett and Morris Multimedia. They gave them some Gannett properties down in Georgia.
Okay.
And so they flipped. And so quick story. I was competed against the Tennessean for the 20 straight years.
Yes.
And I mean, you know, we were friends. It didn't become nasty till Paul Kaharski came along. So anyway, and then still, some of my best friends were there, and we all got along. We tried to beat each other and go have a beer, right? So I was refinancing my house in 2005. I get a call on the way to the office after doing radio morning show here, and they said, "Congratulations, you now work for Gannett." And I go, "Okay, fine." It was the photo editor. I go, "What? No, whatever." Because I'd spent 20 years just trying to beat the heck out of Gannett and had success at it. And so, but that day I was refinancing my house. Well, all those numbers are based on my job. The publisher had already been laid off, an editor had been laid off. I guarantee you, I knew I was going to be laid off. So I go to the office and I'm there for 10 minutes and I leave. Because the next day, actually, it was on a Tuesday, so I refinanced my house on those numbers that, in my mind, were honest because I hadn't been fired yet. So I was hiding out, and then Judy Terzotis, the publisher, said, "Hey, where you been? I've been trying to find you." And I go, "Well, okay, here we go." Yeah. And so, though, they made me part of the editorial board and gave me a raise. Man. So, but then I worked for Gannett, which I didn't like.
Okay, that's a whole nother thing. Okay, so you're there, you're running a news operation, and a legit news operation. You got guys out there covering stories. You got guys breaking news. You got people with sources. You're checking out things. And I don't think people fully understand the duties of a sports editor, especially during that time. And where you kind of made your bones, from what I remember, was the high school football coverage. Was that really the biggest part of the D&J and what you guys did at the time was high school football?
Well, yeah.
What was it?
Well, obviously MTSU there.
MTSU, clearly, yeah.
But our preps, obviously, in the high school in Rutherford County, best of the state, football championships, all the things were going. It was just exploding and everything. But we also, David Beauclair, we traveled to every Predators. And listen to this. Every Predators and every Titans game, home and away, we had a beat writer dedicated to it. Plus, I would go on the road with the Predators. I would go on the road to every road Titans game as the columnist. We would send 2 people to every Titans game in the early 2000s, and we would send 2 and sometimes 3 people on the road with MTSU.
Wow.
I covered games, conference games, in Logan, Utah, Spokane, Washington, and in New Mexico and in there had 3 states out there that they were part of it.
Sure.
So the commitment was there. But over the years, everything's been whittled away, and they don't even have a sports person per se at the Daily News Journal. When one time we had 10.
Wow.
And Cecil Joyce does a nice job, but he does it for a lot of other Gannett properties too.
That is amazing to see what has happened there to newspapers, but also the work it takes. It's a lot of work keeping everybody together, getting everything covered, making sure everything is right. Making sure, we're giving fair coverage to one thing or another. There had to be some juggling going on there. No?
Well,
you're looking at me like, fine.
No, it was busy.
Yeah.
But the processes were in place, had a talented staff. Our inside staff, our production crew we're talking about people that could work anywhere in the country, working at that one place at that one time. And
so the people made it
Adam
easy for
Sparks.
you. Yeah.
And, I'm not going to take credit for Adam, but I did hire him.
Yeah.
He's now the Knoxville News Sentinel, or the Gannett, Tennessee beat writer in Knoxville. Was Vandy here with us, and he's a world-class writer. I mean, he really is, and I just was very fortunate to have a lot of people that I could trust. Here's the thing, my management style. I could look and see what you wrote to know if you put in the effort.
Wow.
I could tell. So
actually, you could,
you go do your thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell you how to be a pro.
Yeah.
But if you're not being a pro, I'll know away. I'll know.
All right, 844-5600. That is 615-844-5600. Go take a break. We'll come right back. This is the McFarland Show on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Tennessee needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Okay, fellas, game's on the line. Let's get it right. Frank, you were closest. Was it fair or foul?
I don't know. I was distracted.
Distracted? By what?
Well, you know, it's a loud crowd. These lights are awful bright. I just won big on a Tennessee Lottery instant game. And again, the lighting here. Somebody ought to say something.
You've got new instant games?
Yeah.
Enough to share?
Of course.
Fair ball!
Have a ball with new instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
With the new hot games from the Tennessee Lottery, cold hard cash is waiting to take your summer fun to the next level. And with sizzling top prizes of up to $500,000, these games could have what you need to make every day fun in the sun.
Oh yeah, this summer is going to be a scorcher. Grab the new hot games today at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer. But careful, they're hot. The Tennessee Lottery, game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Breaking news.
Tax refund shock is everywhere, but what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too. The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited-time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $16. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
This is the Greg Pogue and John Burton Show.
You know, you never know who you're going to run into in Nashville. Here's
Well, you
another-
sure don't, do you, Greg? when J. Crew came in, I thought that was going to be the one, but it just didn't turn out very good. He wore the napkin over his face and stuff. And I don't know what we were doing, but it sure was a lot of fun.
Greg Pogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
The McFarland Show, broadcasting live in Rutherford County on 107.9 FM.
Sports Radio 560 WNSR. This is the McFarland Show. I'm Justin McFarland. Darren McFarland has the afternoon off. We're hanging out. That's what Greg would say. Hang out with us. And Greg Pogue is our guest here, filling in for Darren today. You can always give us a call, even though probably not right this second because we're going to go to break. But 615-844-5600. I hope some of you are kicking back. You know, listen, if you call, can we talk sports? You better believe we can. We're a sports radio station. We absolutely can talk sports. We could talk about Live Golf if you want to and the merger with the PGA. We could talk about the NBA Finals. We could talk about DeAndre Hopkins possibly coming to the Titans and what happens if he does and what happens if he doesn't. We can get into Titans training camp and all that.
Sounds like top 40 sports radio.
We can listen.
Play the hits.
We can do all that. If you want, we can do all that. You can give us a call. You can ask your questions.
Let me jump in. I did not realize this was going to be This Is Your Life today, okay?
I know, because if you did, you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, probably.
Which is why I didn't tell you. So this is why I just told you I got it covered.
Yeah,
now,
all right.
because you're a deep pool of water, sir, and what happens
I'm a deep pool of something.
Well,
okay,
listen. What happens is a lot of people listen to you. They listen to you and John talk about sports and stuff, but I don't think people have the full breadth of who you are as journalists and all the things you've done. Now, one of the things we were talking about off air, and trust me, we're not going to say what we could say, but one of the things about being a journalist is at times you find out things about certain situations and people, and then you have to use your discernment about what it is you're going to release. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? There's a lot that goes into it sometimes when you get certain pieces of information.
Yeah, and that unfortunately over the years has changed with anybody. Anybody can have a podcast. Anybody can have a website. Anybody can have a Twitter handle. Anybody can throw stuff on the wall and hope it sticks. And then if it sticks, hey, look at me. But what they don't have is what you have and what I had. And what I have here is accountability. Yeah. You are accountable to your bosses,
Yes.
to your employers, to your advertisers.
Yeah.
You are and so
what we say, yes.
what we say, yes.
Yes.
Well, so that has changed because anybody can say anything, whatever they want to do, and
Yeah.
they can just fall out of bed.
Ryan Tannehill's being traded to the Jets.
and just fall out of
Conversations are ongoing.
bed. And fall out of bed and call me, I'm Mr. Titan, and start espousing things and get followers, whatever. I mean, that's the way it is. But there is that accountability and the filter because of the impact of what your stories
can
do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're talking about changing careers.
Yeah.
If you navigate it improperly.
I mean, listen, and I don't talk about it often, but I've done stories that have gotten people physically hurt, like, attacked. I've done stories that have gotten people fired.
I have too.
And that's not something
I've been threatened because
I have as well. And that's not something I'm necessarily proud of. I don't wear that around like a badge, but I'm just saying.
You're wanting stories then. I didn't know, but I want, there's of my career, the Ron Mercer story is the most unique.
Okay.
And there is tentacles to that as well.
Okay.
So
if you want to get into that.
And why he didn't end up at Vanderbilt.
If you want to get into that, we can. Talking to Greg Pogue, veteran journalist, Hall of Famer. If you want to give us a call, you can. 615-844-5600. We're wide open here in the 3 o'clock hour. It's just two old journalists, one older than the other, talking this afternoon. We'll be right back on Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR.
.560 AM, 95.9 FM, Brentwood, Nashville, 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Nashville's first 24-hour sports station. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
ABC News, I'm Marina Roy. Following bilateral meetings, President Biden and British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak underscored the strong bonds between the two nations, a commitment to defending democracy and support for Ukraine.
We also discussed our unwavering support for the people of Ukraine and who are defending themselves against the most brutal aggression we've seen in a long time at the hands of Russia and Putin.
Both leaders pledged to work together to battle the climate crisis. Air quality is improving in parts of the U.S. and worsening in other areas as smoke from wildfires in Canada drifts south, causing health concerns. Attorney General Merrick Garland praised the Supreme Court decision that preserves a key section of the Voting Rights Act, protecting against racial discrimination in a redistricting case out of Alabama. In France, opponents of plans to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64 failed to pass a measure to repeal the bill. This is ABC News.
She's moving to Georgia.
Jada's podiatry clinic's top nurse quit, leaving her business toes up.
We've got 6 procedures and 3 major surgeries in the next 2 days.
She needs a new RN who can think on their feet.
There's no way I can do all these procedures on my own.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Gah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Throw me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Oh, righty there.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Sports Radio 560 WNSR. This is the McFarland Show. Hi, everybody. I'm Justin McFarland. We're on television as well, or video, I think is what they call it here. Just streaming. You know, I've done television earlier today. We're streaming. So you can check us out on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. This is the McFarland Show. I am Justin McFarland. Darren McFarland, whose voice you normally hear booming over this microphone this time of the day, has the next couple of days off. And we have got the legendary Gregory Pogue in with us here for the 2 o'clock hour. He's back again here in our 3 o'clock hour. We are willing to talk sports with you. You don't have to listen to me and Greg go on. You can give us a call, 615-844-5600 here in the Strike and Spare Family Studios, 615-844-5600. You can call us, you can text us, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. We're not, we're not stuck here. I was talking to Greg about his life outside of WNSR, which is rather deep. He did television of his own for 3-4 years. And then he was, in addition to doing lots of radio across the city, as well as the sports editor out there at the Daily News Journal before working at the Nashville Banner. He is...
No, the other way around. Banner before the
Banner before the Daily News Journal. He is, and I say this with respect, and I mean this, he is a serious journalist and knows what those skills are like. And I respect anybody who has those kind of skills, because this is something I've been doing myself for the last 25 years. I started with the Tennessee Tribune, Greg, in
I remember.
in 1998, sir. So I have been employed by television, radio, or newspaper every single day of my life from 1998 until this one. So it's cool to talk to somebody who also understands these kinds of things that are out there. We were talking about the growth of the city. We were talking about the fact the CMA Music Fest is in town. A lot of people are going to be downtown. By the way, if you're going to be downtown, just know there's 70,000 people down there. Don't complain. Don't act like you didn't know. It's going to be packed full of people. It's going to be there tomorrow. It's going to be there on Saturday. It's going to be there on Sunday. In addition to the CMA Music Fest and all the festivities downtown, there's also the air show going on out there in Smyrna.
Let me jump in right there.
Yeah, man.
I showed you I forgot. I had to run home between shows and come back in, and I got caught. And the Blue Angels were practicing today.
Very cool.
I mean, they were just right over the top, and they bank where I live, behind the airport there, Percy Priest Lake. People know Weekly Lane, Lamar Hill Boat Ramp, that area. That's where they bank and before they come back over the airstrip where the show is. So I just pulled off the road for about 30 minutes today and watched them practice. I've already been to the show. And I showed you the video.
You've already seen it.
I mean, they're right there. It's amazing. But anyway.
You've lived in Rutherford County a long time.
I did when we came here back in the early 90s. Yeah. I mean, well, not when I came here in the 80s, but we bought, and one house, and then we bought some land and built another, and I've been at that same place since 1998.
All right, we're going to talk more about that in a minute. Let's get to the caller here.
Right.
Let's bring in Doug, our good friend Doug. Doug, welcome to the McFarland Show, -1 McFarland.
But you did do an upgrade like I've never seen before. It's pretty amazing.
Well, thank you, Doug, but that's not true because I love Darren, so go.
I do as well.
But again, this is a Hall of Famer sitting in with a future Hall of Famer being groomed by a Hall of Famer.
Well, there's a way to look at it.
But Mr. Pogue, you did not know that you and I have something in common.
Well, we're good looking. All right, what else?
As a kid, I was a Daily News Journal paper boy, Main Street, 76 through the week, 96 on Sunday on my back, on a bike.
Wow.
And when you talk about the Daily News Journal, that was an awesome place to work. Also, the sports mecca is what I say of the borough. If you want a championship, you got to go through the borough. And let's not forget the heralded times of Central High School back when, Central was also a high school powerhouse. And I say that to say this: you come from a nice place, the Daily News Journal, and you've come to this place and made it better and with your presence. But one of the reasons why I like listening to this radio station with the other options out there is because of what you said, the integrity and the honesty of what you report and what you talk about. That's what leads me right here, not going down the dial and enjoying what you say and how you present it every day. So, again, thank you.
Well, thank you, Doug. And I do want to say, and then the Daily News Journal was a large part of my life, but I basically cut my chops at the Nashville Banner. That was my introduction to the market and everything. All of my base, everything I've done in this marketplace would never have happened without the Nashville Banner.
And again, my dad's favorite paper, I used to have to go get it, and the final edition every day.
It came out at 11:30. Yeah, the first one was on the street early, and about 8:30, and then the afternoon edition, the city edition, hit the streets about 11:30 to noon.
I would leave the Shelby Avenue residence, walk down to the Shoney's, and pick up the evening edition many times. So I'm affiliated with both your newspapers and your work. It's also been good to listen to the WNSR version of Greg Pogue. This is your life. It's been good to listen to.
Thank you, Doug. I put it together myself, man. Thank you so much.
Nice work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Doug giving us a call there. And you said you cut your chops at the Daily News Journal. And
no, the
excuse
Banner.
me, at the Banner. Right. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I've got it plastered in my mind here. At the Nashville Banner. Now, Greg, I moved to Nashville in 1991, just full disclosure, okay? I moved to Nashville in the early 90s is when I got here. And what a lot of people don't know is that at one point, Nashville had two full-time, fully staffed, highly accomplished newspapers. The Tennessean, and I need your help filling in the gaps with some of this, because the Tennessean came out once a day. The Banner came out twice a day.
It did. Yeah,
Okay.
but the Tennessean also had a state edition that came out at midnight.
Okay.
And I would often be there because there was no internet at the time. I'd be there to see what they had because I didn't want a 4:30 call. Hey, you got beat. So I would be there at midnight a lot and then go home. But we had two newspapers for 130 years, and most cities did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Cincinnati Post, Cincinnati Enquirer.
Yes.
Houston Chronicle, Houston Post.
That's true.
Louisville Courier Journal, Louisville Times.
Yeah.
Knoxville News, Knoxville Sentinel. Memphis Commercial, Memphis Avatar.
Wow.
I mean, on and Philadelphia Daily News, Philadelphia Enquirer.
Yes,
so, yeah, and so it was very competitive. We were all in one building. We had what's called, it was a joint operating agreement.
Yes.
Meaning that advertising was shared, distribution, circulation was shared, facilities was shared, but we competed editorially.
How does that work when you're in the same building?
Well,
I've never experienced that.
Well, it would happen that way for ever since the joint operating agreement since the mid-'70s, I believe. But there's people don't realize this. And I'll give you a history.
Yeah.
And Fred Russell, one of the top greatest sports writers of all time, and if I have an honor in my life that's at the top of the list, that I was on the staff at the same time Mr. Russell was still alive.
Yes, sir.
I mean, he was it in this country. He hired and fired coaches at Vanderbilt. I mean, I'm dead serious. And so, but in 1938, 1939, the Nashville Banner was the morning paper for the first 50, 60, 70 years of their mutual existence. And the Tennessean was the afternoon paper. Well, and they were both publishing 7 days a week. Well, the Nashville Banner at that time, the more preferred cycle was the afternoon paper. And so it was more desirable for up until about the 70s for the afternoon to be the preferred of the two. Well, in 1938-39 era, there was a flip. The Nashville Banner, 7 days a week in the morning. The Tennessean, 7 days a week in the afternoon. The Banner flipped with the Tennessean, and they were very politically one side or the other. One was strong right, one was strong left. We never got into that in sports, okay? But that's historical. It doesn't take on the meaning it does today, okay, with the polarization of everything. So, they flipped. The Banner gave up their Sunday product so they could go to the afternoon. Well, 50, 60 years later, that would be their death because the afternoon cycle, with now the Tennessean, the morning, was long become the more preferred cycle.
Yep.
So they actually gave up.
No one got the Banner in the afternoon. Nobody.
They gave up their morning.
Yeah.
And they said, we won't do Sundays anymore if you'll give us the afternoon.
Yeah.
And the Tennessean moved to the morning.
It was the wrong bet.
Well, but at that time, for the next 30 years, it was right.
Yeah.
But so people don't realize that, and now, but the Banner, I became prep editor of the Nashville Banner, and 2 weeks or a few months into it, they did away with the Saturday. And so what am I doing on a Friday night?
Yeah.
I'm going to high school football games that I'm not going to write about till Monday.
Yeah.
So I'm not writing game stories.
No, it's an adjustment.
Yeah.
And just full disclosure, I did the same thing with the Tribune. The Tribune is a weekly paper, not a daily. So you cover a Titans game on Sunday. There were times in which I covered TSU football, Vanderbilt football, and the Titans all on the same weekend. And then you had to write 3 separate stories here that wasn't going to come out until, I think our print day was like a Wednesday.
It'd be more analysis and commentary than game stories.
Yeah, because the game is way over at that point. But it is an adjustment to making your mind because you're trained one way, but now you realize, well, this is pointless.
Well, since we're telling stories, can I tell you a funny one?
Yeah.
Okay. Which reminds me, this is probably the funniest thing that ever happened to me in the business. We had dropped the Saturday morning paper. Riverdale was playing Lebanon at Old Lebanon High School. Riverdale had Gary Rankin had just starting his tenure there and winning state championships left and right. They played at Lebanon on a Friday night. Well, I have no duties. I'm just going to the game. I'm on the sideline.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't find out until like 7-8 years ago that I'm gluten intolerant, have celiac. And I always just thought it was diet or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm at that game. It's packed. It's like the region championship, big, packed. And I'm on the sideline. And so then I get my stomach, it hits me, and I got to go, number 2 in a hurry. So I go, it's halftime. I go to the bathroom. They have 2 commodes and no stalls. It's just, if you're going to poop, you got to poop in front of everybody. And do all your duty in front of everybody.
Yeah,
so
literally.
At the time, Mark Medley was the coach there.
Okay.
And, I know everybody and everything. So I said, man, I'm not. So they were running back out on the field. And he was running out, and I say, hey, Mark, my stomach's upset. Can I go to the bathroom? And he said, sure. And so they run out in the field. I'm sitting in there. Clang. They locked me in the locker room. So I'm locked in the locker room at halftime. There's no cell phones. There's no windows.
So you're just in there.
So I'm in there. I go to the coach's office, and I go, well, what am I? I'm knocking on the door. No one's hearing it. I'm locked in the locker room, and I'm hearing the crowd.
There's no landline in there?
No, well, there was. So I get on the coach's landline in his office.
Right.
No cells at the time.
Yeah.
And I call home, and I tell Robin to call the Lebanon radio station. Tommy Bryan, Hall of Famer, been with the Wilson, he owns Wilson County sports for decades. Great guy. Trying to get a hold of him. Couldn't get a hold of anybody. Couldn't get anybody to let me out. So with about 5 minutes to go in the game, I hear the doors opening up. And they're coming in, and they're bringing these long Subway sandwiches in for the team after the game. So I grabbed me a Subway sandwich and watched the last couple minutes of the game.
After being locked away in the locker room.
After being locked in the locker room.
Greg Pogue, everybody. Full of stories. All right, we're going to take a quick break because when we come back, Greg Pogue is going to tell us about a basketball player who had a famous name here, one of the most famous basketball stars this area has ever seen. And Greg has a story about him when we come back. This is the McFarland Show, Sports Radio 560 WNSR.
Hello, this is Philip Cox from Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Are you looking for new and exciting things to do with the family during the spring and summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free, a summer pass starting in May where kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join the fun as well. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Donaldson, Hermitage, and Tusculum to register, or just visit kidsbowlfree.com/Strike and Spare. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Post-COVID travel is on a surge. Many of you are traveling for fun because you've been locked up for 2 years. Listen, whether you're traveling for fun to Italy, Greece, Spain, France, or somewhere else fun in the world, or USA, now is a great time to book before the crowds hit and save. Plus, with a strong U.S. dollar, you'll get more travel bang for your buck. Right now is a smart time to make your reservations and call low-cost airlines. With one phone call, you can let let us do all the work for free. We'll shop hundreds of airlines, hotels, resorts, and give you a way to save huge money on your vacation plans. And if you call right now, we'll give you a free hotel room with a qualified travel purchase. So call right now.
800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. That's 800-704-1662.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
It's a Bill King Show.
If Nick coached another 7-8 years, I would not be shocked at all. I wouldn't be. Now, I'm not predicting it because I don't think you can predict that kind of thing. We don't know that. If he coached to 80, I would not be flabbergasted.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Sports Radio 560 WNSR. It's The McFarland Show. I'm Justin McFarland, Darren McFarland with the day off. Today, we've got Greg Pogue here with us. Greg Pogue, of course, hosts the John Burton and Greg, what is it called? It's
the Greg Pogue and John Burton
Show.
The
Greg Pogue and
John
Burton Show.
always goes, your name's at the top of the marquee.
Yeah.
And he sounds just like that.
Okay. They host that every day, 9 to 11, right here on Sports Radio 560 WNSR. In addition to his work here at WNSR, Greg has also worked for several other media companies all across the mid-state here. He has covered Rutherford County sports and sports right here in Nashville for decades. We were talking a little bit earlier about his work with the Daily News Journal, as well as with the Nashville Banner, as well as WNAB televisions, the OWB 58, now CW. But he has been poking at me about one story in particular involving a basketball player named Ron Mercer. Now, for those of you who are not from the area, I feel safe in saying this. Ron Mercer, I'm not going to call him the greatest player that ever came out of the mid-state. That's a stretch. I will call him one of the most famous and, I don't want to say impactful, but he was certainly one of the most famous basketball players to come out of this region, without question, I think. Ended up going to Kentucky and then moving on from there. Greg, what is your story about Ron Mercer?
Then played at the NBA. Well, Ron
Yes.
Was 1 year younger than Drew Maddox. They had
Played at
developed
Vanderbilt.
and that's the connection to the story. In as we get through it, is that, you know, and they played at Goodpasture together. With
Yes.
Sam Howard was a freshman, ended up playing at Vanderbilt as well. Of course, Drew did. Ray, his dad did. His granddad did.
Goodpasture over there in Madison, everybody, right off
Yep.
due west.
And Steve Reese was the coach who had played at Vanderbilt. But anyway, there was a big recruiting. You know, Drew was going. Drew was a senior. And in Ron, as a junior, since Drew had already left, Ron, his senior year of high school, went to Oak Hill Academy, okay, and was recruited by Kentucky, Tennessee, Kevin O'Neill, Vanderbilt with Jan Van Bredikoff. Well, I had gone from prep editor to the Vanderbilt beat writer. So, and all of that along, I'd become close to the Maddoxes, Ray, and the his Drew's brother Chris and sister and Anita the mom. And we just become close. Well, Ron obviously still had the connection here, was being recruited by Vanderbilt, among others. He was playing in the McDonald's All-Star game in St. Louis. I flew in a private plane while I was the Vanderbilt beat writer to St. Louis with the Maddoxes. The plan was going to be that at the McDonald's All-Star game, he was going to announce that he was going to go to Vanderbilt. Well, and I was going to break that story. But he did not get accepted into Vanderbilt. At that time, you had to be accepted into 4 different schools. He was NCAA eligible.
Wait a minute. Well,
4 different schools at Vanderbilt. There was not one entry. If you applied to Vanderbilt, you applied to the school of what? There were 4 schools that you applied. One of them early on was Peabody. But you would apply directly to the school.
Okay.
The school within the university.
The school within the university.
School of nursing.
Okay.
School of, business.
Gotcha.
The Owen Business School, for example.
Gotcha.
But he did not get accepted.
Oh.
Okay. Well, Jan Van Bredikoff was the coach. I found out. You know who told me that he did not get accepted? Jerry DiNardo, who was the football coach at the time, told me that Ron Mercer had not gotten eligible and was not going to be able to get into Vanderbilt. Well, in the back end of this, there's the fallout from this. And so I'm sitting on the story, and I'm not going to call the lady who DiNardo had gotten really, really good. Rick George was his director of football operations. Rick George right now is the athletic director at Colorado who hired Deion Sanders. He used to be the commissioner of the senior PGA Tour. Okay. Good. Went from here to run the New Orleans PGA event.
Sports administration guy.
Yeah. And so they had gotten a really good relationship of how to get these marginal student athletes into school, yet they were very heavy on making sure that they kept the grades because he already was getting them in. Where with Ron on the same numbers, and it's because Jan Van Bredikoff did not know how to navigate the system, okay? And you know who's on that staff was Buzz Peterson.
Yes.
Houston Fancher and Kerry Keating. All of them became head coaches.
Yes, they did.
Everywhere else. Buzz now with Michael Jordan with Charlotte. So anyway, so I know.
You know Ron Mercer is not going to Vandy.
Cannot get in Vanderbilt.
Okay.
All right. Van Bredikoff comes to me and says, because I was already to break that story in St. Louis from the McDonald's, he comes
from
to
the All-American,
for the McDonald's All-American game.
Yeah.
He said, give me some time. Give me some time to try to get him in. Okay? All right.
Decision time.
Okay. So the editor, Pat Embry.
Yeah.
You probably know Pat, now works for the community foundation here. Is there?
Yeah.
Just a great guy.
Yeah.
Went on. He was our editor, and I said, "Well,
I didn't know that.
Well,
I know
he was the editor of the Banner, the news editor, not the sports editor."
Okay.
And I'm saying, it's a hell of a story here, Pat. And do we run it or do we close the door on Ron Mercer's opportunity to go to Vanderbilt if I run that story right away? Okay. So we wait, and he doesn't get in, and he ends up telling me at about midnight at 11 o'clock that he had committed. He'd called me, said, I'm going to Kentucky. I write the story. He calls me back like at 2 in the morning, asks me not to run the story. He's going to Kentucky. He wants to tell Tennessee first. Okay? I said, Ron, the story's already written. It's already in the works.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to print.
Yeah, it's already there.
Yeah.
And it's the truth.
Yeah.
And so Ron and I really hadn't been much friends since, quite frankly. And that's fine, although the Maddoxes I ended up being business partners in several things over the years.
Sure.
And so I held on to that story. I did break Ron Mercer going to Kentucky, but I held on to the story, allowing Vanderbilt. Well, what the consequences of this was, there was a inquisition by the Board of Trust led by Tommy Frist, who's the richest man in the state. He's the richest man in Tennessee.
Yeah.
He's got more money than the Ingrams. He's got more money than everybody.
More money than the Haslams.
Yeah, more money than the Haslams.
Yeah.
He's the richest man in Tennessee. He built Innsworth, okay?
Yes, sir.
And so him and John Rich at the time, huge donor, owned coal companies. Ingram was on this. And they had a panel that had people come in and they investigated how this happened. And at the same time, R.A. Dickey got turned down to Vanderbilt, went to Tennessee, became an All-American, and he was also academic All-SEC. Okay? At that same time. So so it was that really at that moment changed the course of Vanderbilt athletics.
Yes.
And how
in a big way.
And how student athletes would get into Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
They're still stringent, yes, but they consolidated, instead of having to go to each individual school and consolidated, and, they lessened some of their requirements because kids were NCAA worthy. The best players in the country were in their own backyard and couldn't get in, although they were NCAA eligible.
What? Okay, and this opens the door towards Vanderbilt. When I moved here in the early 90s as a kid, I moved here from suburban Chicago. What I couldn't wrap my brain around as a sports fan, and callers have called in and given me grief about this, but when you talk to the other kids who are already here about, well, what are the sports teams you follow around here? They all say, we follow the Tennessee Volunteers. Okay, well, where do they play? They play in Knoxville. Where's Knoxville? 2-3 hours? Okay, is there somebody here in town you guys follow? Not really. I said, didn't I see a big stadium with in Vanderbilt or something? Yeah, but nobody cheers for them. Okay.
Well, just because you live in Nashville, you're also living in the state of Tennessee. It's a state school. That's just like somebody in Gadsden, Alabama. Tuscaloosa's 2 hours away. You can't be a fan of them?
Yeah.
No, it's the state school. Vanderbilt has done nothing over the years to grow new fans.
That's where I was at.
I'm going to put it where it is right now and work backwards.
Okay.
Chancellor Dearmeyer, the new chancellor,
yes.
Thumbs up. Candace, although she could have handled the departure of baseball and and basketball women from our station a lot better, but she didn't. But so what? I still think there's forward momentum there. Clark Lee, forward momentum. I don't know Stackhouse. The jury's still out in my mind on him.
Never met him.
Well, obviously baseball. Women's basketball looks in solid. Their facilities have been woefully behind. And so now
starting to get a little better. They're doing some work.
That new stadium is filling out the renovation. There, you saw the renderings of a new baseball, upgrade and all that. So from there, but historically, Chancellor Gee was very positive for football.
Yes, I remember that.
And people remember.
He was the first chancellor I met.
Yeah, and he was. I like it. We got along great.
Gordon
he would live.
Gee,
Yeah,
who's now in West Virginia.
Yeah, he was. At Ohio State,
yes.
After here, and he was at Brown, and he's an academician, and we became. He would call up, and this is bad. He said, "I listen to you guys while I'm in the shower." Gordon Gee told me that.
Yeah.
That still messes me up.
He was listening now. He was engaged now.
Oh yeah,
there's no question about it.
But before that, they had a chancellor there, Joe Wyatt, that couldn't care less.
Okay,
and so during the '90s. And everything, and there was he was actually an athlete from the baseball side who didn't want to seem weak when if I put money into athletics, all these academians are not going to accept me as one of their own. And so it went backwards. It went backwards. After DiNardo, DiNardo, people go, well, DiNardo won 18 games in 4 years. In the early 90s.
Okay.
Guess when that was the most wins
at the time,
for Vanderbilt since the 50s in a 4-year, in Art Gep.
Yeah.
Who at one time was the commissioner of the OVC.
Yeah.
Was the coach at Vandy.
Yeah.
So, but now they're getting ready to get over $100 million a year.
Yeah.
From their television contract starting next year.
So what have they done with the money they've already received?
Well, in Vanderbilt, I've always said this about Vanderbilt. They have selective poverty. It's a term that I coined 30 years ago. Selective poverty. They can claim we don't have any money and then go spend $30 million to buy the Legends Club, a 36-hole golf course in Franklin.
They did. Yeah.
So
and land up
selective poverty
and properties up and down West End.
Yeah. So anyway, so Vanderbilt's trying to catch up. And they're the only private school. They hide behind that at times because there's no freedom of information that they have to adhere to.
No, we don't get access to the Board of Trustee meetings and
or
trying to find out.
No, it's private.
We don't get any of that.
Nothing.
844-5600. That's 615-844-5600. We're talking with Greg Pogue, the Hall of Famer, about media, his media career, deep connections here in Nashville and in Rutherford County as well. And some of the things that he has seen over the years. Of course, he hosts a daily sports talk show right here on these same airwaves, and we're thrilled to have him here. Let's chat about a couple of new additions that have come in, and I'm curious about your input. I asked Darren, who is Nashville SC fans? Who are these folks? They're real. They're going to the games, but I don't see a whole lot of Nashville SC memorabilia around town. A lot of people don't, and we don't talk about them actively, so people don't call us and talk about them. I know your producer is a huge guy into the soccer world.
Patton, the best on the air in Nashville right now, is writing stuff for WNSR.com and really knowledgeable. I see Nashville
trying to
SC.
figure out where they fit into this because they seem to be
the millennials. It's the 20s, the 30s, the soccer. It's Hispanic. It's people who around the world who are now coming here with their soccer that they grew up on. Yeah, that's why they're getting 30 a game. 30,000 a game.
Oh, yeah.
They have the largest soccer specific stadium in the country.
Yeah,
is Geodis Park. So yeah, 10 years ago, no, but they're out there. They're everywhere, and it's an easy sport to digest.
It is. Put the ball in the
it
net.
lasts 2 hours.
It does,
and it's conducive to fan groups and all the stuff that goes on. I'm admired of it. I haven't been, and I wish I would, and I guess I'm just too old. I don't want to mess with traffic.
Okay,
well,
there's
there's
a lot of traffic.
There's a lot of things infrastructure wise that they are fall behind.
Well,
yeah.
No, they didn't. No. They didn't fall behind. They decided to overlook it. Is what happened.
That's worse.
Just to tell the truth. Tell the truth about it. Does Nashville SC's success make you feel like this city in its current state can truly support 81 regular season baseball games?
Yes. 10 years ago, no. 5 years ago, maybe. Right now, with Oracle coming in, with what it is, it's the slice of the pie, right? The corporate slice of the pie. And we're all dipping
Is there
our
enough
toe in it.
advertising? Is there enough
stations,
for the luxury
TV,
boxes?
everything, blah, blah, blah. But right now, you build a 38,000-seat stadium. You have all that. You have everything that's coming in. 10 years ago would have said no way, and I'd said it before, and I've supported Larry Schmidt. I don't live in Davidson County, so I couldn't vote.
Sure.
But I think that he thought that it would work because of his explorations in the early 90s with it, and got no.
He gave it a really good try.
He got no backing from the city.
No.
Well, I think the mayor at the time was Bill Boner, and that was a train
Well,
wreck.
then,
And then
that's
Brett
a whole other thing.
Well,
but okay.
and we don't need to go down. But
No.
I think yes, tourism, corporate base, population growth. Yeah, I think it would work right now.
If we can get the financing worked out about how to build a thing.
Here's the deal. You're going to have some John Ingram who built Geodis, basically.
Yeah.
You're going to have a billionaire do it, okay? And just like this.
Who's ready to pull the money out of his pocket?
Well, just theoretically, the redeal with the new football stadium theoretically takes all that tax burden off the residents of Davidson County. I know that's disputed, and however that works, but it would take somebody. What people understand right now, the only way that there's going to be Major League Baseball in this city is not from somebody moving here.
Yeah,
okay.
expansion.
It's expansion. The A's moved to Vegas, but they had been trying to get out of Oakland for 30 years.
Yes.
Okay. And so Tampa, they're not moving. The owners, if they move here, they're not giving it to the group that's trying, the baseball group that's put together.
Yeah.
the only way that group will get it, baseball, will be expansion.
Yeah, they got to put together a good
No
bid.
one's moving here.
Yeah.
And with that, they're not going to get expansion unless they have a stadium.
Yeah.
So which comes first?
The expansion's going to have to come first.
Well, no one's going to expand here without it. Well,
they're not going to build a stadium out of nothing.
Well, who's going to come here if there's no stadium? I mean, who's going to?
Well, you put
what's
together
the
the financing for a stadium.
I don't see
for
that.
The promise
I don't
of a stadium.
see the big boy that it takes.
All right.
Well, I think look at the Commanders, Washington Commanders. What are they selling for? $6 billion.
Yeah, it's
The
ridiculous.
more what. It used to be $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion.
Yeah.
You know, when something is for sale for $6 billion, you know how many people that can pull that off there are? The further that cost goes up, the pool of people who can afford it goes down dramatically.
Way down. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got a few more minutes here with Greg Pogue, the Hall of Famer, and of course the sports talk radio show host here on these same airwaves. This is the McFarland Show on 560 WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $16. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Today is the day. Today is the day you empty your garage and closets of your old tech. Today is the day you hang up on that dial-up modem. Today is the day you tell that old GPS to get lost. Because while Staples recycles old tech for free each and every day, today, during Staples' free Tech Take-Back, Rewards members get $10 in Staples Rewards when they recycle their tech. Cut the cord on your old tech and recycle it at Staples. N617. Limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
Do you ever feel like gambling is causing financial strain or hurting your relationships? The Gambling Clinic has been helping people who want to change their gambling habits for over 2 decades. With physical clinics and remote online appointments, we're here to help you make informed decisions about your gambling so it doesn't lead to a bigger problem. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com so we can work together to help you win your life back. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
I've got a unique vacation idea for you that's right here in the United States. If you're ready for a vacation that's fun and downright affordable, listen up. It's driving distance for many of you, so no planes, no airline delays, no hassles. It's Branson, Missouri, the entertainment capital of the Midwest. Live music for everyone. Branson has 3 beautiful, enormous lakes, water attractions, live shows, great food, and tons of entertainment. It's a perfect vacation for you and your family, or if you're retired and you want to have a great time. And you can stay in Branson for as low as $99 a night. Please understand, this is not a timeshare offer. It's a real vacation for as little as $99 a night. We've got a free vacation guide we want to send you right now. All you have to do is call for complete details. Get your free Branson, Missouri guide right now by calling this number.
800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. That's 800-413-3953.
Staples has everything your business needs all in one place. Shipping supplies and services so you can fill orders from all over in one stop. Plus professional print and marketing services at your fingertips. And now during Staples Small Business Deal Days, when rewards members spend $100 or more, they get $20 back in rewards plus another $10 back with the Staples Connect app. And you'll find new deals in store every week on tech, chairs, and shipping supplies. Get everything for your business for less at Staples. Rewards offer ends 5/27. Limit 1. Redeemable in-store only.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Kurt Anderson is on the line with us. What do we have here in Nashville, Tennessee, in Peter Skoronski?
You got a throwback player. Say less, do more type of guy. Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year this year. Physical. He wants to run the damn football. He's a great pass protector. He's like kind of the all-American kid. Really smart.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Sports Radio 560 WNSR. It's been an insightful couple of hours with our guest, Greg Pogue. Of course, it's hard to think of Greg as a guest because he hosts a show right here on WNSR each and every day, along with my good friend John Burton. So it has been interesting to hear about his life and his career. We really haven't gotten to his life, just mainly his career.
Once again, I got ambushed with this. I had no idea. But thank you. It's awful kind of you.
No, listen, I'm doing this, Greg, because what I find is a lot of people occasionally, let me get a drink. I'm sorry. I'm choking.
You all right? Well, yeah. Hey, give us a call or text at 615-844-5600. That's my radio voice. You all right over there?
The coffee dried me out. I drank a little coffee.
Yeah.
And it got too dry, and I just couldn't get through it. So I wanted to give you the opportunity. You said you wanted to ask me a question because we've gone on and on about your time at the Banner, which has been interesting, the Daily News Journal, which has been interesting, WNAB, which has been interesting. But you said, I'm going to interview you. So if you have a question for me.
Where did it click with you?
What click?
Well, you're in the media business. I think heard you were saying you'd went out to the garage and played DJ or something, or read the news.
Broadcasting games.
Yeah,
well, except without a broadcast.
I remember in the second grade, we had these the 45 records, and you could stack like 7, 8, 10 of them on a time, and they'll drop down and play, and then they'll come back up. I would get the newspaper and read by the time, play the music, and when the music ended and whatever long it took to rotate around, I would read in between the news and sports and everything, and then, now coming up, here are the Beatles.
Yeah. What's called stop set, where you get the lead in music and you talk all the way through it.
But how did it click? Where did it? Was that it? I mean, what was there? Somebody you saw, heard, listened
Good afternoon,
to?
everyone. I'm Harry Carey, Steve Stone, Tom Brennerman.
There you go.
Broadcasting live from Wrigley Field. I'm not doing a Harry Carey impression.
Well, I can do one of him drunk because I've seen him drunk before.
Wasn't that the most of the time, though? Seriously, WGN television and radio bit me pretty hard, and my love of broadcasts happened there in Chicago, which was a broadcast mecca still is in a way, but at the time it was a broadcast radio mecca where you had the likes of Harry Carey on the air every day. Wayne Larrabee was doing the Bears games at the time, and beyond all of that, I got to hear Paul Harvey. Paul Harvey, news and comment, brought to you by True Value. Things like
Paul
that.
Harvey?
Paul Harvey.
Good day.
Good day.
Mm-hmm.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Mm-hmm.
It was very inspiring to me at the time, hearing those kinds of voices, that kind of craft, just grabbed me right away. So my journey into this really began as a little kid there in Chicago. And then by the time I got down here, it was full speed.
Game on.
Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do it, and I've been going after it since then. What did change for me, at least, Greg, was the transition for me into news, because I was a sports guy. And what happened was I looked at the landscape of sports, and I said to myself, if I want to be able to support myself at some point, the sports thing is looking a little suspect at times. I may want to get some experience with something else. And so I began covering news. And, that has now morphed and moved into, my career, at Fox 17 and doing all of that, where you cover news and city government and, cops. I've covered some of everything and during my career in television. So that part has been fun. But Darren called me and gave me the opportunity to come back, and he remembered me and my sports roots. And so I'm fortunate that he trusted me enough to come back and get into some sports again, which is something I hadn't done in a little while.
Cool.
Okay.
There you go.
Now
we know the rest of the story.
Let's go to Mike in Melrose. Mike's got stories for us, I know. Mike, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Well, the craziest thing, Greg, is his dad, who I've umpired several games with his dad.
Yes, sir.
Is a huge, huge White Sox fan.
He is.
And But Justin chose to go with the lovable losers up there.
Listen, the broadcast didn't grab me the same way, Mike. I don't know what to tell you, but it's true. True is true.
Yeah, Greg, I wouldn't rule it out. Is there any kind of chance that Tampa Bay is going to relocate if they don't get a stadium? I mean, here they are, the best record in baseball, and they're still 27th in the league in attendance.
Well, we've been chewing that cabbage for about 20 years for Tampa. Really, I mean, yeah.
Their lease at their stadium runs out in 3 years, so they're not going to build them one.
My point
MLB
is,
prove it.
okay, but are they going to move here without a stadium?
Well, they don't want to stay there. I mean, it's
okay, but that's not the answer to the question. Would they move here? I don't know if they stay there or not, but who would move here if there's no stadium deal?
Well, I mean, there might have to be a guarantee if there's a stadium going to be built.
Well, they're going to have to build it.
You're looking for a timeline. That's what you're looking for, Greg.
That's
what I'm fishing. Because what's the timeline from there's an agreement to there's going to be shovels in the ground and a stadium ready to go on opening day X, Y, and Z?
Well, I don't see any movement to get a stadium that would attract where we built a football stadium to get a team. We built an arena to get a team. We didn't have any idea. We built the stadium because we knew, for example, that the Oilers were moving
and
here.
And it took them 2 years to move here.
But the arena was built with no major tenant.
That is true.
Yeah, well, I mean, they knew we needed a new arena just for concerts and conventions.
Yeah, but no one still was going to come here, or expansion wasn't going to come here without the arena.
Well, and you mentioned my father when he owned the Sounds and trying to get a stadium. That was actually when Bredesen was the mayor, and he said we need this new arena and we need a new library. He said maybe down the road, and of course, and Bud Adams came calling, so. That was history. You talk about how the media has changed so much over the years, and I'm looking at right now, stacked probably 25 scrapbooks of just Nashville Sound stuff, and that was both papers. I mean, that was the main thing to cover here in town. So, and then now I don't get to Tennessee, but my dad tells me they don't even rarely even see a Nashville Sound score or the standings.
Well, I tell great stories about the Sounds, but I understand.
I would confirm that.
Yeah. Mike, thank you so much, sir.
Thanks,
we appreciate it.
See you, buddy.
All right. Have
Mike,
a good one.
Mike and Melrose there with that.
Full disclosure, Mike, Larry Schmitto's son.
Yes.
Yes. Mike Schmitto.
Yes, he is. Got to take a break. When we come back, remaining minutes with Greg Pogue right here on the McFarland Show.
Timeout. All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the TSSAA and the Tennessee Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Greg Pogue back once again to tell you about Bongo Java, Nashville's oldest and most celebrated coffee company, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel. Bongo Java's expert baristas take pride in their trade, serving up fresh, locally roasted coffee, classic handcrafted espresso, drinks, and fresh baked goods all day long. Start your day with an American or cold brew, or for a taste of Music City, grab a West End latte flavored with local honey and cinnamon. A Breakfast Club biscuit or an everything all-at-once sandwich will fill you up and let you focus on your day. Bongo Java also has you covered for lunch with tasty deli sandwiches served on fresh-baked ciabatta bread like the I'll Have What She's Having or the Godfather. Bongo Java, open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Enjoy a fresh cup of Bongo Java in the heart of Music City. Bongo Java is the Nashville way to start the day. Bongo Java in the Omni Nashville Hotel, downtown 5th Avenue, Music City.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Rand Carthen, Tennessee Titans GM, joins the show. Rand, were you among the 70,000 plus that saw Taylor Swift in Nissan Stadium? How was the concert?
I went to the Saturday night show. Easily the best thing I've seen. Now, I went into it, and I was like, I couldn't name a Taylor Swift song, but I was like, I love music enough to know that. I know there were songs that I knew that I didn't know was Taylor Swift. So I'm really there because it's just the way my brain and my eyes work. I'm there looking at the stage production I would guess to say crazy things like transition from one song to the next, you know, the stage. And so that's the stuff that had me enamored. And it was easily, you know, the best show I've seen. And so Beyonce's going to have to bring it in July.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. The package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. It's starleasing.com to learn more.
The Jim Rome Show.
Man, I love Facebook. That's not in any way a time suck. And it's such a valuable use of your time. Going on everybody else's page and posting how beautiful they look when they don't. They don't. You know they don't. Come on. Anyway, do what you want with your time. I don't want you to tell me how to spend my time. I won't tell you how to spend your time, but I will tell you this. Stop cropping out pictures and including yourself. And then acting like, hey, my hair looked great that day. My makeup was perfect that day. Just do what I tell you. With regards to this, you'll be fine.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on Nashville Sports Radio. You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
Sports Radio 560 WNSR. This is the McFarland Show. I'm Justin McFarland. Darren McFarland, the day off. Greg Pogue has been in with us here. Got a couple of minutes left, Greg. I got to ask you about a strange Facebook post from you one day I saw, and I didn't know. You said there is a jazz song that everyone should listen to at least once in their life.
Well, Miles Davis, Kinda Blue, 1959, the greatest jazz album of all time, best-selling jazz album of all time. Got John Coltrane on it, Cannonball Adderley, two of the best saxophone players in the world ever, and Miles Davis, who's on the Mount Rushmore, in my mind, of musicians of the 20th century.
Mercy.
So, yeah, 1959, Kinda Blue. That's if there is an entry, and I guarantee you, just the title track, Kinda Blue, you've heard it. It's been in movies and ads, and all that album's been used
So What
forever.
is my cut, the So What cut by Miles Davis.
So What?
Yeah.
That
thing is so good.
Well, but that's a standard. And
It is a standard.
That's on Kinda Blue.
Yeah. It's part of the album for sure.
Well, So What is the first song on it. So that's,
see, I didn't know that.
That is if there is a tune from it to identify with
the quintessential track.
It's So What.
It's So What.
Yeah.
Man, that is so, we don't have time to get into you and jazz, but that is fascinating. Greg, this has been your career. I'm not going to say your life because we haven't talked about your life. We really just talked about your career. We haven't talked about your mama and them and done all that, but it's been an honor, sir.
Well, thank you.
So to walk down memory lane with
and
you.
appreciate it. Thank you. I had no idea. I just thought we were hanging out, and you got me. So thank you. Kind words, and everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You've been listening to McFarland Show, Sports Radio 560 WNSR. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Until then, see you later. Bye.